Hi, everybody. This is Shri, and welcome back to my channel, Vedic Living. Today, we'll be talking about the predictions for the upcoming month of May. As you know, April has been very volatile. We have had so many planetary transits in the sky, so many changes happening with Jupiter moving into Aries, and then we've had the solar eclipse. We've had Mercury going retrograde. We had all kinds of changes in April. Now, May is going to kind of add on to all of that, and it's going to still be a little volatile. It will not settle down till later in the year because we have so many changes happening, and I can't wait to tell you about all of that. But before we go into that, if you haven't yet done so, please go to my website and sign up for my free newsletter because I send a lot of information in my newsletter and it is free. And another thing I want to remind you is that this year we will be having the Future of Astrology Vedic conference here in Dallas. And I'm one of the speakers at the conference. I'll be talking about my favorite topic, which is Gemini astrology. I'll be talking about a lot of yogas in Gemini astrology. And I can't wait to meet a lot of you there. So make sure you book your tickets and come over. I'll have the link for this conference right below this video. So check it out. We have a fantastic array of speakers. I mean, the conference is being hosted by my teacher, Joni Patri. And in addition to Joni's amazing talks, we have Dr. Joe Vitale. We have Mark Boney, who is the most highest authority on Gemini astrology. And then we have James Braha, who also recently published a few books, and he is an amazing astrologer. We have students of the university who will be speaking. We have Ronnie Gale Dreyer and Juliana Swanson, who are amazing astrologers in their own rights. I mean, this is going to be a great conference. It's one of a kind. It has never happened before. And I also forgot to mention Kapil Raj, famous astrologer who runs the YouTube channel, KRS channel. He will be there too. So this is going to be a great event. It's not just about the classes and the learning. It's about, connecting with all these amazing astrologers we have learned from over the years through YouTube and other media. So I want to make sure that I talk about it here so you can remember to sign up for it if you're interested. This, like I said, this has never happened before, and it is a great event. So make sure you click on the link below this video and sign up for it. And I can't wait to meet you all there at the conference. Now, going into the May predictions, this month is going to be very serious with all kinds of changes going on in the sky. So let's dive right into it. The very first event that's going to happen in the month of May is the lunar eclipse. I mean, there are a few transits before that, but this is the most prominent one happening in the first week of May. It's happening on May 5th. And this lunar eclipse is happening in the Aries Libra axis at 21 degrees. And it'll be around 1:34 p.m. Central Time that this happens. Now, when this lunar eclipse happens, remember, lunar eclipses or eclipses in general, we are right now in the middle of eclipse season. This is the eclipse season, guys, right? April, May, and then later on, 6 months later, we are again back into the eclipse season. Eclipses bring things out into the open, things that were not known about in the past. And I've had a lot of clients who have come to me for readings, and they have had massive revelations. Because what eclipses tend to do is it exposes things to you, right? Things that you have known to be a certain way for a long period of time. When the eclipse happens, it shows you the truth. Because what is the eclipse? It's going from dark to light. So the truth being exposed, things being brought out. And this is happening in personal lives as well. So, you may have known a person for a long period of time, but during the eclipse season, you see a totally different side of them. That's what it is. And similarly, in world events, people who are celebrities, people who we've known for so long to be a certain way, we see a different side of them during the eclipse. And it shows us the reality, it shows us the truth. And this is why eclipses are so important. We had the solar eclipse in April, but that was just the beginning. We are in the middle of a huge eclipse season right now. So with the lunar eclipse happening on May 5th, a lot of issues from the past are going to come out into the open. It will, and remember, when I say things are being exposed and flaws are being shown and things like that, ultimately it leads to healing. Eclipses are amazing. They are the cornerstone of astrological predictions, I would say. So this is an important time that we are going through. Every year this happens, but every time this happens, new things are revealed to us. The illusion of the society we live in, the Maya that we are surrounded with, this is what the eclipse tends to bring out into the open. It's kind of a wake-up call. And what does it ultimately lead to? It leads to healing, ultimately. So May 5th, at Aries 21 degrees and Libra 21 degrees, it's going to be the lunar eclipse. And like I said, it takes a little bit of a time to heal a lot of those things that are shown to you and to process it. But ultimately, it leads to a great healing. Okay. Now, the next big thing that's happening is on the 9th of May, we are going to have Uranus conjuncting the Sun. Now, this also, I think, is a very important transit. It's going to happen around 25 degrees of Aries. In astrology, Sun is considered the most strongest planet. In Gemini astrology, we have the concept of Karakas and based on the degrees of the planets. But in Parashari astrology, Sun is the Atma Karaka, always. And the fact that the Sun comes in conjunction with Uranus, and what does Uranus rule? Uranus is unexpected events, serious unexpected events. So when Sun and Uranus come together, things are very unpredictable. We cannot predict, the nature of the events that happen because Uranus is unpredictability, unexpected events. Sun, it's the life-giving force. So sudden changes happen. And it is, again, these sudden changes lead to good events in the end. But the thing with this is Sun rules leadership and it rules governments. So in your personal life, this is basically, your boss or your leaders at work. It could be the father, it could be father figures, it could be government leaders. That's where you will see these unexpected kind of reactions coming from. You'll be like, where is this coming from, right? So that's May 9th. So when Uranus is conjunct the Sun, I always tell my clients, it's not a great time to have those meetings with your superiors at work or have, serious conversations with your spouse, because Sun also rules the ego. It's a person's ego. With Uranus conjunct it, you don't know how the person will take it, what you're saying. They may take it in a very different way than you intend. So this is why it's very important to remember this time. Now, on May 10th, Mars enters Cancer. And this is very important. Mars has been going through Gemini for the past few weeks. And now when it enters Cancer, what is the sign of Cancer for Mars? Mars is debilitated in Cancer. So this means everything that deals with Mars will get impacted in a debilitated way, right? So what does Mars rule? The main thing that we can think of when we think of Mars is real estate and assets, right? And a sense of security, because Mars, when we talk about real estate, it's your home, it's your security. So when Mars goes into Cancer, usually the real estate market does suffer, it takes a hit. Now, another thing also is Mars rules siblings. So when it goes into Cancer, you may have some arguments with your siblings. You may not agree with a lot of them. And remember, Mars does rule anger and frustration. So this is a time when things can seem a little out of control. You talk to somebody, they may get upset really fast, and that kind of thing. So Mars being debilitated in a person's chart, in a natal chart, when we look at Mars and we see that it's debilitated, we always ask them, hey, do you have difficulty in expressing how you feel about things when things don't go your way? Do you find it difficult to express it? And a lot of times my clients say yes. I tend to push my feelings down. I don't express my frustration at things or my anger. And then because I push it down for a long period of time, after a while it explodes, because you can't keep it down for a long period of time, right? So this is that the nature of a debilitated Mars, not being able to express the Martian feelings constructively, tending to like push it down and bury it, and then after a while it explodes. So this is people say, I've heard people say, oh, so and so has anger issues, but it's not really true. It's the debilitated Mars. And the only way to overcome this is to remember that expressing the way you feel about something right away is very important, because the more we push things to the back recesses of our minds, they tend to come out later in less constructive ways, right? In more destructive ways, so you don't want that. So this is Mars going into Cancer. That's the nature of it. So remember that May 10th, it'll be entering into Cancer. Now, Saturn has been going through Capricorn. So twice this month, on May 12th and May 19th, Saturn's third aspect will be on Mercury. Now, Mercury is also retrograde. So already we are having problems with Mercury communications, technology, interpersonal communications, and everything to do with travel is getting affected, right? Now Saturn's going to also transit or aspect it on May 12th and May 19th. This is important because when this happens, that already retrograde Mercury is getting pulled down further. What Saturn tends to do is it causes a feeling of being stuck. You feel like things are not moving forward. You feel like things are blocked. You're like, there's obstructions in various portions of your life based on which houses this is happening. Now, Saturn on Mercury does cause this kind of the feeling of being stagnant and stuck. But I also think Mercury, Saturn does bring focus and discipline. And that's something that I definitely want to mention here too, because Mercury rules your mind. It's in Sanskrit, it's Budh, which means buddhi or intelligence, right? So with Saturn aspecting it, and Saturn itself being the highest authority on focus and discipline and diligence, I think this is a great time to get things done, because when you have the focus of Saturn on Mercury, you're able to not give up on something. You will sit down and get things done. A lot of times, because Mercury rules communications and writing, I tell my clients this is a great time to write and journal, because the effect of Saturn will give you the insight into a lot of things that you've not had in the past, okay? Now, on May 15th, two things are happening. One, Sun is going into Taurus. So happy birthday to everybody who has Sun in Taurus. This is your solar return time frame. So I'm wishing you the very best happy birthday. Now, Sun going into Taurus is important too, because Taurus itself rules the financial market, its economy and finances and money and businesses. With Sun going into Taurus, that's going to be the focus of this upcoming month. Now, another thing that Taurus is also great for is nature, being in nature, hiking, being, going out for walks or kayaking or whatever you do in nature, that you will feel very connected in this time frame. And I'm sure a lot of you guys who have Sun in Taurus in your birth charts, who's going to have your birthday at this time frame, also feel very connected to nature, because that's just the nature of Taurus. Now, May 15th, another thing that's also happening is Mercury is turning direct, finally. So that's good, right? Because Mercury retrograde always kind of, I know it's a great time to reassess the past and, think about the future and plan the future and all that. But man, it does cause a lot of technological issues, right? I mean, your phone stops working, your computer stops working, you have all kinds of problems, and it's annoying a little bit. So when Mercury goes direct, we feel good about things. We feel like things are moving forward. So May 15th, Mercury will go direct. But remember, on that same day, when it's going direct, it's actually stationed and then going direct. So it's still not a great time to do the things that you would not do during a Mercury retrograde. You might want to wait for a couple of days after it goes direct, okay? Now, May 19th is the new moon. The new moon this time is going to be at 4 degrees of Taurus, okay? And when this new moon happens, and every time, whenever we talk about the new moon in astrology, we know that this is to deal with new beginnings. That's what the new moon is. And because it's in Taurus, it is a great time to plan anything new that you want to do for your financial future, because Taurus rules finances and economy and money. Now, it is happening in the nakshatra Kritika. People who have Kritika nakshatra, they are very direct. They don't like sugarcoating things. Kritika, the symbology is a sharp blade or a knife. It's cutting. They like to kind of get to the point right away. They're very direct. On May 26th, we have Mars at the exact midpoint of the nodes. Now, this is important. Every time, whenever Mars comes to the exact midpoint of the node, so we are saying that it's, exactly between Rahu and Ketu. It's a trigger time frame, because Mars is a trigger planet. So when it is exactly at the midpoint of the nodes, it triggers changes around the world. It causes mass consciousness to shift. And I think as a result of all these eclipses that are happening, and Mercury retrograde, Mercury going direct, Jupiter going into Aries, which is symbolic of new beginnings, this new moon is going to bring about a huge shift in the way we think about things, because a lot of secrets have been exposed to us by then. So on May 26th, when Mars comes to the midpoint of the nodes, there is going to be grand revelations. And also remember, this is happening between the signs Cancer, Aries, and Libra. And there may be a lot of earth changes at this time because of the signs that are involved. And, Mars being at the midpoint, it's not a great day to make decisions for your future or to travel or anything like that, because, and again, Mars is a fast moving planet. So the effect lasts only for a day or two. So around that time, May 26th, it's a time to relax and not make major decisions about your life, because, it's a destiny point. Mars is exactly at the midpoint of the nodes. And the last thing is May 31st, Jupiter is going to conjunct Rahu in Aries. I mean, this year, guys, Aries is going through a lot of transits. So many planets will be in Aries all through summer. And this is just the beginning. So if you have Aries ascendant or your moon in Aries, you know that you can already see everything shifting and changing in your life. You can see changes happening. You can see things that are, feeling like it's out of control, but, it's actually a lot of changes. It's opportunities coming to you. It's a grand mix of planets in Aries right now. On May 31st, when Jupiter and Rahu come together in the sign of Aries, this is the time for an awakening, because Jupiter is the planet that rules spirituality. It rules everything that has to do with philosophy and understanding the basic truths of life. And a lot of times, with Jupiter and Rahu coming together, it is a manifestation point because, remember Saturn is still in Capricorn. It is aspecting this combination in Aries, right? And whenever Saturn and Jupiter come together at a certain point, it is a manifestation point. So use this time to manifest the best outcome for yourself. Rahu Jupiter coming together can magnify the goodness of Jupiter. But at the same time, Rahu does tend to have some negative connotations to it. So this is, when they say that things are excess, we tend to get too greedy. So that's why that negativity comes in when we talk about Rahu and Jupiter coming together. So this is a time to connect with yourself and be humble and accept the reality of what is in your life and make the best of it. So the great time to manifest amazing outcome for yourself on May 31st when Jupiter and Rahu comes together. And so with that, we come to the end of the predictions for the month of May. And like I said, sign up for my free newsletter so you get a lot more of these predictions in your inbox free every month. And I will be coming back with the rest of the videos on the Ascendant series and the Nakshatra series. And you'll also have some specific videos on the lunar eclipse. Thank you so much, guys, and see you next time.